Hi, and welcome to this podcast on how to complete the Mayland Community College Scholarship Application. You'll note on this page of the podcast that this application is dated 2011 to 2012, but you may be filling out an application in future years, so don't be thrown off by the difference in dates as you complete an application for each application period, which would be for fall, spring, or summer semesters. The deadline dates are shown on the front of the application. The date for fall is June 24th. The deadline date for spring is October 15th, and for summer semester, March 15th. Now, it's important to understand that this application you're completing is for a variety of different scholarships. There are many different scholarships that are contained under this one application, so there is really no one specific Mayland scholarship. If you turn the page now to the first page, page number 2, you'll notice at the top MCC Scholarship Application, how to apply, and how to maximize your chances of receiving a scholarship. It's very important to follow all the directions, to complete all the information that's required, and to check the not applicable box if a part of the application does not apply to you. Also, if you're an ESC or WIA recipient, we want you to indicate that on this application page. You'll notice that it will also ask you when your sponsorship will end, because sometimes people who are now currently with WIA or ESC will not be covered during the scholarship period, so we need to know that. Be sure to complete all sections of this page before moving on. The next page is about educational background, and again, check not applicable where information does not apply to you. Everyone must complete Section 1 on MCC enrollment. Let us know if you're planning to be part-time or full-time during this scholarship semester, and if you're going to complete your program at Mayland. In number 2, tell us whether you're a transfer student, in other words, a student planning to transfer from Mayland to another college or university. And if you are going to pursue a bachelor's degree, tell us what that will be in. Also, the next section 3 is about high school or homeschool information. The only students who would check not applicable are those who have never attended a high school or a homeschool. If you've attended even for a part of the time, let us know that you attended, but also let us know if you've received your GED. Be sure to review this page for accuracy, and be sure also to include your transcripts. Now, many students get confused about the transcript question because we need to have a transcript that shows a GPA. If you have attended Mayland and let's say you took only developmental courses, it's possible that you may have gotten A's on all your developmental courses and have a GPA of 0.0 because developmental courses are not added into your GPA. They don't count as part of your GPA. In that case, we would need to see a transcript with a GPA, such as a high school transcript, or if you attended another college's transcript, or if you received your GED, we need to see your GED certificate with your scores on it and your final score that you got from completing the GED final exam or GED test. You must include your transcript, whichever one it is, with this application. We will not be responsible, or the scholarship committee does not secure these for you. You can also print your transcript from Leo. It does not have to be an official transcript. On the next page, your financial information is required. Now, you have to decide whether you're a dependent student or an independent student, and the instructions explain to you what is meant by dependent and independent. If you are dependent, you fill out all of Section 1. If you are independent, you check not applicable in Section 1 and complete all of Section 2. Number 3, household size. Sometimes confuses people. Sometimes people aren't sure, well, who should I include if my relative is living with me temporarily, or right now we've taken in a grandchild, or perhaps members of the family who aren't with us permanently. Just tell us what is the number of people that live in your household on a regular basis. Again, this is to help the scholarship committee to know what is your financial situation, what is your financial need. Section 4, income changes, is very important because most of the time when people give us their information from their tax forms from the previous year, that situation or that financial status has changed by the time they are applying for a scholarship, or it will be changed by the time they enter the semester when they would receive a scholarship. Therefore, we need to know your financial situation during the application semester. If you're applying for fall semester, let's think about whether you're going to be working during that semester, whether you're going to be on unemployment or losing unemployment, if there's going to be a change in your marital status, or whatever might apply. What that tells us that your income is different from what was recorded on your federal income tax form that you completed and attached to the application. Also, in number 5, we need to know what other income you may be receiving during the scholarship period. And again, let me emphasize that this is during the scholarship period that you're applying for. So, for example, let's say you're right now getting food stamps, but during the fall semester or the semester you're applying for a scholarship for, you will not be getting that aid. You may not be getting food stamps or WIA assistance or something like that. So please only indicate to us what funds, what additional financial resources you are going to be receiving during the scholarship period. And again, you may have to estimate what you think you will be getting, because it's not always possible to say, I know the exact amount I'll be getting from Voc Rehab or from food stamps. So just give us an approximation. Financial aid or financial information is continued on page 5. And again, you must complete section 6. Also section 7, will you be employed during the scholarship period? And then go back and just review to be sure that you've gotten all your information completed. You left no spaces blank. It's so important to not leave any blanks on your application, because incomplete applications will not be reviewed, and you will see that written on the application in more than one place. And now the personal essay section. This is a critical part of your scholarship application. We want you to do your very best. We want you to sell yourself in terms of being a good candidate for a scholarship, and we also want you to exercise a little bit of creativity and just show us what you can do with section 2, answering one of the following topics. Now, every application will have different topics to choose from. In this particular application, the 3 are listed here, and you are to choose only one of them. Now, here's a suggestion for you. When you're answering number 1, put a number 1 on your essay, letting us know that is the section of your essay that's telling why you're a good candidate for a Mayland Community College scholarship. And just a tip for you about that. Every student can say, I'm a good candidate because I need money, I can't get through school without financial support, I'm a hardworking student, I'm willing to do my best, I'm willing to put the money to good use. Those are the common standard answers that any student could write. We want you to be a little more creative than that and tell us what makes you so special. What makes you a student who deserves to be awarded a scholarship, to be honored in this way, and to be given this extra financial boost. Also in section 2, I suggest that you number it 2 and indicate which topic you've chosen for your essay. Now, here's the tricky part. You have to complete this section on one typewritten page. If you go a little bit over, you won't be penalized, of course, but we would like for you to answer number 1 in about half of a typewritten page and number 2 in the second half of the page. If that is totally impossible for you to do, of course, you may go on to a second page, but again, do not get too carried away with this section. Remember, a committee is reviewing many, many applications. We want your answer to be well done, well written, and it is possible to do a great job on this on one typewritten page. Follow the instructions, do exactly what it says, and be creative. Let your imagination help you with this. Also, use the writing lab for assistance. Talk to your English instructors for assistance, and absolutely have someone proofread your essay before you turn this in with your application. Now you're on the signature page, page 6. And in this section, this is a statement of understanding. You need to read each of the bulleted statements about the application, that you've completed it thoroughly by yourself. You're responsible for ensuring that it's complete. No one else is going to check it over before you turn it in to tell you it is complete. That's your responsibility. And also it says that if you are a recipient of a scholarship, you will be awarded an award letter, and you will be required to send a thank you letter to the donor of the scholarship. And all that will be explained in greater detail in just a moment. Sign your name, date it, and print your name below the signature. The second half of this page is the consent for release of information to the media and outside sources. What we're asking here is your permission to allow us to release your name, your county of residence, and possibly your photo to the newspapers or to any publications in the area where we can show the students who have received our scholarships. We also may need to release your file with your permission to an outside organization or agency that wants to review your application and then select you for their scholarship. So it is to your benefit to check both of these sections, and particularly the second one, so that if there were scholarships outside the college that you qualified for, we would like to be able to release your application to those agencies. And again, you're not required to give this permission. You do not have to sign this section. It will not penalize you in any way, but just realize that it will increase your chances of getting a scholarship offered from an agency outside of Mayland. That is the end of your scholarship application, but let's talk a little further about what happens when you get a scholarship. What will happen is that you'll receive an award packet in the mail and a blank thank you card and instructions for completing this card. We would like you to complete the thank you card according to the instructions, and you must include an envelope addressed with a stamp and return it unsealed to the financial aid office, room 139 in Gwaltney Hall, by the date shown in the letter. The reason why we ask you to return it unsealed is so that the financial aid coordinator can review it, look it over, be sure the information that you put on it is according to instructions, and also you may want to personalize this by buying your own thank you card and bringing that in. And again, we need to have the address on the envelope and the stamp. We will not mail it for you and will not provide the stamp for you. Remember, you're receiving a scholarship. This is an honor. This is an award. And it's usually a lot of money. So to show your gratitude and to help the college with this, please put your own stamp on the envelope. And then we will mail your thank you card to the donor, and your thank you note will be included. And it's something to keep in mind, that this is a very, very important aspect of receiving a scholarship, because our donors are members of our community. They're folks just like you and me who have decided to donate their money, their financial resources, to helping students at Mayland. It's so important that we show our appreciation to them. When you write your thank you note, put the name of the donor on it. Don't just say "to whom it may concern," but "Dear Mr. Smith," "Dear Mrs. Jones," whatever the name is on your award letter. Tell a little bit about yourself. Tell them why it's so important for you to have the scholarship and how grateful you are for receiving it. And just show your appreciation in this. We have had many donors come back and tell us how pleased and delighted they were with the thank you notes that they received from students. they're very touched and moved by these. And you know, human nature is such that if you're rewarded and you're made to feel good by doing something, you're going to want to do it again and again. So these people will want to continue to donate scholarship money to the college because they see how important it is to you, the student, and it's meaningful to them. So just do a great job on your thank you letter, and on the next slide you'll see a sample thank you note. So just take a moment to read this. It's very simple, short and sweet, but it's thanking Mr. Jones and family. The student is telling about himself, telling him how the money is appreciated, and once again at the end thanking the donor for their support. So that concludes the podcast of how to complete the Mayland Community College Scholarship Application. Please bear in mind that there are 3 scholarship periods at this present time for fall, spring, and summer, and you are entitled to apply for each semester scholarship. You can apply every scholarship period. If you do not get a scholarship in one period, that doesn't mean that you won't be eligible the next time around. This is a competitive process. The money is limited. You want to do your very best, and you want to put your best foot forward. So keep trying, keep applying. There is money for scholarships. You don't have to be at the top of your class necessarily with a 4.0 average to get a scholarship, but you do have to do your very best on the application. So if you need to go back over the podcast, do that. If you need to get help in the writing lab with your essay, please make use of that assistance. And do your very best because we want to award you a scholarship. So thank you for watching the podcast, and continue to apply and do your very best, and you'll be receiving that nice scholarship award packet in the mail.